here I am, bigSHow theGod. So I've been working on a few things, as I do, and I thought I'd just capture some of the stuff. So I've had a really great sort of life, if I want to be that way, but the last couple of months have been really good, capturing kind of changes that I've been doing in from a learning perspective to an implementing to kind of the self-awareness. And so I thought I'd just touch on a couple of the key points that I might not have, or that I'm currently doing, so that 3, 4, 5, 6 months from now I can kind of reflect on, and they're based on the last 3, 4, 5, 6 months ago, right? So as an example, I'm big on like doing, learning, reviewing, doing, learning, reviewing, right? And to see if what actual results you get. The results actually matter as well. So as I've kind of developed this kind of system here where I have my calendar's quite descriptive, I kind of check in on everything. What I have gone for is something a little bit to try and, because I understand how my mind works reasonably. I've got to be quite motivated and challenged. I need to be challenged and I need to be motivated. It's kind of that cyclic thing. So what I look to do is keep reinventing some type of personal challenge within, which lines up with my goals. So an example of that was I have these gauges here. I call them zero tolerance, and I've been sticking to that. If you look sort of February, you'll see here those blocks are there. If the blocks aren't there, then I didn't do those things. But you can see I'm reasonably consistent with the blocks. And I like to do it for a while before I change too much. So you see here, it goes back to a fair amount of time that was happening. Zero tolerance. So now that we're at this stage of the piece, I can now revamp and then reintroduce. So here's kind of yesterday captured. I've added this nutrition check, and I'm rating myself a day, every day, out of a 5. So a 5 for a nutrition check. Because what I've found personally is there's still some stuff that I would consider not necessary that I do. So from a nutritional background of like what a human requires in a day or in life, I'm having more than that. That's just a fact. And weirdly, my vision of how I want to look, that's what it takes, you know. But what tends to happen is I sabotage myself because I actually enjoy we stick to the food thing, I'm enjoying those foods. I'm visualizing, I'm tasting them, I'm smelling them, I'm eating them. But it's momentary. And it's, you know, to be honest, it's not taking me to my goal of how I visualize myself. Definitely isn't. And so it compounds more than just the nutrition value. So I don't sleep as well, probably. I don't have the same energy levels. So the nutrition part is a big part, and I've struggled for my whole life with it. So working out myself. So anyway, decided to add this nutrition check, and the self-awareness of what I go through, like in an hour or 3 hours from now. The decision now to eat that, whatever it might be. Now I've managed to take out sugars and lots of stuff out of the list, but I'm still eating. I might eat something here or eat something here. And so I want to question why. What made me eat that? What made me decide to eat that? Even if it's in the list of good nutrition, then it was a choice, and it was a smart choice because it fits with my goals. So I've added that in as a nutrition check, and it's daily, it's every day. I like to think that'll motivate me when I'm in the moment, and then long term become a habit. This is how I kind of build these habits in. So as an example, I ascertained that why wasn't I going to the gym at 6 a.m? I'd go at 7, I'd go at 9, I'd go at 5. I'd go if I woke up and felt alright, I'd go. So I use the same system. Whereas now, so even for the last month, it's quite difficult some days to go to the gym at 6, because that requires me to be up at 5, get myself mentally ready and go, and just be there, be present, put the energy in, and then leave. Right? Sounds simplistic enough, but it's kind of wasn't for me. And I actually enjoy going, but we'd go in that other level of be there at this time, and then from there, it's how much are you doing? But I've got to be there at this time. And that starts it. So now this low-hanging fruit system is to now go, okay, nutrition check. End of the day, we do a nutrition check, and I can now think about what I did that day. Even while it's happening, I'll go to nutrition check later. I know it's there. I know I'm going to be assessing myself this afternoon, this evening. Is that a good idea? So it's just a tool to help me take ownership and accountability and responsibility and that sort of stuff. So I'm looking forward to that. So yesterday I only had dinner. Which is what I'm supposed to have. I had eat after 4, which meant when I got to 4 o'clock-ish, sometimes it'd be 3:30, whatever. But when I did eat, it was, a bit of fruit or something, and then dinner. And then dinner's finished, and then I would eat some more stuff. It might just be a second helping, it might just be some more fruit, some more something. And that's the bit I'm trying to go, well, why? Why are you having that much? Because I love the shit and I'm enjoying it. Can always fit some more in, right? But that's the work I've got to do. That's the work I'm going to try and do, using this tool that I know worked in other areas. And so I like to think this is some self-awareness that I realise myself, and take it from there. Just give it a bit more of a clean up. You know, I don't really have, I'm not really looking to like drop another 5-10 kilos, but I like to think that would be a symptom of this. And let's find out. Because once I've got those nutritions, see where my energy level's at, see what my sleeping patterns are like, and then from there, let's see if the nutrition's more logical and more streamlined, what's my energy level's going to be? Because now I'll be able to monitor that because of this change. It's not really a change, it's more conscious. It's a conscious decision making going on, and amongst this accountability system. So that's what I've got there. So I've just come back from the gym. So what I do is I write down what I did. I did that. I did a walk on the treadmill to loosen up, and then I did some free weights. That was just an hour session. So that just captures a little bit of it. I've got squash this afternoon, and there's where I'm going to put my meal. So now that's a tick. I make it blue if my mate shows up. If my mate comes. He doesn't come on Wednesdays. He missed yesterday. I think he's been a bit injured. But, and I've got 0 tolerance for eat after 4. I'll actually mark that now because that's 100% going to happen. It saves me coming back to it later. My watch captured the rowing, and so I'll turn that to a purple later this evening for my nutrition check. The idea there is that dinner's pre-planned, prepared. I'm gonna eat that. Nothing till then. That's the idea. Whereas before, what I was doing is at 4 o'clock, I might eat some fruit, might eat some raw nuts or something like that, and then have dinner. And then part of the logic is was I hungry, or why was I having that? And then what tends to happen is that sometimes I tend to have more of them. And every now and then, what would creep in would be maybe I'd have some leftovers before I have dinner. After 4 o'clock though, but it's still, you're still making the volumes stretch. So it's a bit of that, bit of portion control kind of going on here. So yeah, so that's kind of how I blend in some stuff. And I do the same with my career stuff. I build in capturing functional relationships, what I'm doing in a day. So I've added that into my daily focuses. It's on here, and I have to put in what a KPI is. See here, even when I do a podcast, when I do it, and I'll just call it that update. So I'm actually doing that right now, right? And in here we're going to have this nutrition rating. I've updated the thing to be 5 to measure out of 5. So I'll give myself a score later this evening on that. That's where I'm at. Actually, I might as well pre-mark that because I'm never not. So I might as well copy that over. So this here, my son was gonna join me and follow himself, but he's on his own sort of world of how he does his life. So, We'll see if he shows up again. So at this point, that's my focus. I try to stay motivated to this. I want to kind of achieve this 5 out of 5 this evening. So that strips all, that builds in the challenge. I'm always looking at my journals. So I've got that decision sheet, updating that. Decisions completed. I modify, tweak, add a little note in, do some type of form in here, whether I create a new decision. So that feeds off. Did I do something? Yeah, yes I did. It's like another grading. And then what prep am I doing for tomorrow? So part of my prep for tomorrow is built into here. So you'll see here I built in, this was the right session I did. I got squash this afternoon. Got a Bait Bunnings meeting. Got to pay for that arcade that I'm developing. Update. And that's what I'm doing now. So these things I wrote down yesterday. You see? And I might even, if I add more to this, I would put more in. So here as well, I've got this journal. So I marked that I filled out my journal. Well, I've updated it, which is here. Here's my journal. So I've already put in here what I've done this morning. And I might even put in a podcast update. I'll call them update on progressive changes / goals. See there, I've just sort of blended in something quite small and thing. I've written it down, which sort of adds to letting me know where I'm at. You know, and this is all sort of feeding into how I visualize my future self. And I've been doing, so I'm at day 308 of this particular journal. So I'm almost going to have a full year of this particular journal. I mean, I've probably been doing these journals now maybe 3 years, but they've developed. I've developed them over the time. Just happens coincidentally on there, you'll see I've got my pillar updates this month coming this weekend. So what I do there is a bit of a process of I even prepare myself to do these. So now that I'm looking ahead to those, I might get them done now, knowing that, you know, Saturday I may have other stuff on, I may not be in the right mindset. So rather than wait, I can have a pre-look at that. Now if there was too much on, if you see here, career, got that on, and then health-wise, I might have a tournament or stuff, or just general stuff. So here, I haven't really got too much planned. So there's no reason why I can't push those in there. So it's really dictated to by my calendar. So I may in real time update that as well, knowing that I'm free. So that theory is going, well, while I'm free, let's get that moving. And obviously being in the right space, right headspace as well. So that's important. So I was with the squash guys yesterday. This is an example of me just capturing that. So it captures it right. And then when I look back on it, I can say, yeah, well, that's the stuff I've been doing. And the good thing about that is I can say, is it healthy or not healthy? Am I doing it too much or not enough? Had my son on Monday. In fact, I've got tomorrow, I've got a friend of mine coming over. He said 9 o'clock. Wants to go over some stuff. The Andre. So rung me out of the blue. So that will be interesting for me. So I mark it in there before I see him. Good thing about doing that is I might even pre-mentally look at myself as like, what was our last conversations that we had? So as an example of that was, okay, I'm meeting Andre tomorrow. Okay, let's get me into a mindset of what was our last conversations that we had. A lot of it comes to me in my head, but I'll use my digital formats of Messenger. So I'll pull it up here and go, where is he? And when was the last time we talked? So I messaged him December. It's now March. And so we've got a bit of a history there, but that was the last time I communicated to him. And now he's communicated to me on text. Which is fine. It's not a beat up, it's like just now I can take myself, go, oh yeah. And then I can quickly remind myself of our last interactions. We used to go to the gym. Well, I used to meet him at the gym. He actually got me kind of, in a weird way, he encouraged me to go at 6 in the morning and sort of lock myself down. And then he left. He never really found out why. Maybe that's something that's on my mind to go over with him tomorrow. And take it from there. So that's an example of what I go through, picking up on that. I just remembered I've got on Friday, this exercise session changes to a squash session. So I've got to meet him there. So I'm working out with someone else. And something else came along. Thursday? I thought there was somebody else organised something. No. So that's pretty good. So yeah, so I'm doing those things. At some point I'll get into tomorrow's fitness, what I'm planning to do and what I actually do. And then what I rate myself. And then take the gym. But I'm actually going to, because it's Wednesday today, and seeing where my energy is at, I may update these today. And then obviously I've got my career stuff. This here we actually talked about yesterday. Check cameras, check network. I did a little follow up with that. Plant manager. It's with IT still. It's with Tom. and capex is getting none. And a bit like this. I think it's done now. So that we can go archive. So we can archive that. So that's our focus points. So that can move to there because that's a follow-up. It's now a follow-up. We've got a bit of an audit going. Gonna wait till he gets back. Current quotes. And follow up on him. I might do that today. What we do is insight theme. Blue star. So we can, I'll have a look at that soon. My performance review, my update sheet. We might just throw that into here. That's ordered. That. Remote site calibration. What's that about? Yeah. The codec one. We can archive. So those are going along. So yeah, you see, so that gets all cleaned up. And see I've got it here, it's created a thing, monthly pillars update, so that gets me another one. A couple of little tasks. So yeah, so that's kind of what I wanted to capture, was how I go through adding and developing kind of changes on from my current system. And how it refreshes me to put that little challenge in and get me over that comfortability, because it does take a bit of a mental, emotional kind of action change. And I notice I've got to kind of stay with it, because in an hour from now, I'm good enough to go, oh, you know, I feel alright, I'm okay with where I'm at, and make a different decision, and justify a different action, justifying a different action, and that's just a distraction, you know. So realizing how distracted I am naturally. Because funny enough, I've done quite a lot of other things. So, so this is called content capturing. And that was one of my pushes I was going to put down. So we've got content capturing. So I'm doing more and more of this. so in my opinion, this is adding to my practicing. So it's practicing content creation. So if we look at it, if I look at it on, say, on here, just my Facebook page, I do my content creation in here quite a lot. So there's a fair amount of time that I spend creating this, but they're basically thoughts that I've already got. I don't know why this is on my feed. I don't like it. Get rid of that. And so it's February. So that's how much. It's now March the 2nd. And what's that? February the 17th. So 2 weeks. In 2 weeks I've done kind of that much content in 2 weeks. Fourth, 25th, 23rd, 23rd, averaging at least 3. So that's 1 week, that's 2 weeks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10-ish. 10-ish posts. That's a good 5 posts a week. And that's just me. And then if we keep going, we're still in February here. So that's a month, February the 7th. Okay, let's do a month's worth. February 6th, February 5th, 1st of February. Here's a month's worth. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. 19 posts in a month. Right. That's not bad. And then I've done this. I'm pretty sure I did 1 or 2 other ones this month. Let's prove that. How many podcasts have I done? So we got, what's the date on there? So we got 1, 2 streamed 3 weeks ago, 3, 4. So at least 4 podcast captures, 20 Facebook kind of content creatives. That includes, adding comic book structures and bits and pieces. So that's reasonable. I think that's reasonable. And amongst that content capturing, I'm creating, I've updated my brands, bigSHow hats. You see my jacket, towels, did some towels. And then amongst that, I've looked into getting a retro arcade built. That's coming next week. Had some Jordans, shoes and a wardrobe outside there. Maintained the car, got the panel beating done on a piece of it I didn't like. So all those things kind of add up. You know, stuff around the house, little updates here and there. And so those are lots of physical things amongst the relationship sides that I have. So like I said, I have amongst there was Facebook posts. Look at my relationships for the last month. Posts, friends, family, wife, conversations, my brother, my mum, dad, just conversations, a lot of it digital conversations, but touch points. My daughter was over. My wife's family, get to see them a bit too. So that's all within that month. Locked in. So that's where I'm currently. So I currently capture that again, all based on the same sort of fundamental building blocks to try and progress some more. So that's it. Well, that's what I ended up doing for my. Interestingly enough, that's what I'm going to do for these updates here. So I've kind of answered a lot of this here. By quickly looking over each calendar, I can tell this month. So this preview, I went to relationships now, a 9.6, you know. I would probably maintain that 9.6 out of 10, in my opinion. Still my opinion. And I'm basing that on the amount of touch points I had in here. And interesting enough, includes career touch points where I have functional conversations in career, which is part of relationships. And I've actually added relationships with by doing the interclub team thing, where I'm taking that. So I'd probably find that this, based on the high performance group that I'm taking, I'd probably go up a percent. It's actually like that. So that's gone up a little bit. 9.7. And my learning, so I can even go fitness. I reckon I'm another percentage up from activity, from being consistent. I give myself that point based on how this month has gone. So here's how I know it's pretty, just because of all those purples, and this twisted knee is reduced, and I've amped up and carried on doing it. So in some cases I'm doing 3 or 4 sessions, doing 2 sessions a day minimum for most of these. You know, I did a planned rest here. Actually, I think I had to go to work on one of these days. I had no choice. But it was amongst a planned rest because I was twice a daying it for 5 days in a row. I was running, and it's not just the actual exercise itself. It's what am I doing through it. So that's worked really well. So that's why I give myself this sharpness a little up. Career's been quite consistent, so if we go career, very consistent wise. Got some really big capexes through, and made some good progress steps with some other parts. So it's going to be tricky, but that's almost up one, you know. But I think there's about right, 9.7. Finances, we're good with our finances. There's normal pretty consistent. So that'll stay at a 9.5. I think my learning's gone up. You know, I can talk on that quite openly and honestly. So that can be a ratio up. And the nutrition, definitely now. Sort of early, so I'm going to just go one step this month because of the changes I've made. But that will probably, I want that up a bit higher. But I need to do it for a bit longer. So those adjustments I made is only recent. So I need that to play out for a bit longer. But the fact that I've made this change over the week reflects in that mark. It's taking me a while to get that moving, so I'm not there yet.